All right. UEFA Champions League football is back. And guess what? Arsenal is going to be playing away at San Siro against Inter Milan. You know, remember when Inter Milan is playing, it's Giuseppe Meazza. When Inter Milan is playing, it's called San Siro Stadium in there for you. So that's where this game of football is obviously going to be happening in the UEFA Champions League. And you all know that Arsenal is topping the UEFA Champions League table. You know that very well. And Inter Milan is also one of the good performing sides, and they're also doing great in there for you. And this is going to be match day 7, second last game of the campaign. And obviously, Arsenal has to pull out their stockings coming into this game of football after drawing with Nottingham over the weekend. Smash the like button, comment and share. If at all you're watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. Rokani David is my name, and continue to subscribe because, you know, we want to hit the magic number of 29,000, right? I think we're going to hit 28. You know, let me check here. Let me check and see. All right, we've hit 28,000 and now we are targeting 29,000. And please go into the lower left bottom corner, smash the black button that has the word subscribe. After smashing it, hit the notification bell that will enable you get notified every time I upload a video onto this channel. Now, head to head so far, Inter Milan is placed 6th on the 36th Premier League table. That is it. And Arsenal is topping it. And Inter Milan has 12 points. Arsenal has 18 points. And Inter Milan is going to hit to score 12 goals. Arsenal is going to hit to score 17. Inter Milan has conceded 4 goals. Arsenal has only conceded 1 goal and came in through against Bayern Munich. Then Inter Milan has 76 shots. And 34 of those are on target and 42 of those have been off target. 29 shots blocked by the opponents. Arsenal has 77 shots. 46 of those have been on target. 31 have been off target and 16 have been blocked by the opponents. Inter Milan averages a passing accuracy of 87.11%, and Arsenal's passing accuracy is 84.06%. Now, the last game that Inter Milan went ahead to play, they beat Udinese by 1-0, and Arsenal drew with Nottingham by a goalless draw. You understand? So, Arsenal comes into this game of football knowing that they need to raise their stockings high. Now, when you look at the previous meetings between Arsenal and Inter Milan, they've played themselves 3 times. Inter Milan has won 2, and Arsenal has gone ahead to win 1, and there are 0 draws in there for you. So, the last 3 times they've played each other, November 2024, Inter Milan beat Arsenal by 1-0. It was a penalty, and that game, Arsenal dominated it completely, but they couldn't obviously put the ball in the back of the net. And remember, Arsenal went ahead to have 20 shots, you know, at the goal of Inter Milan, but they couldn't obviously find themselves executing it. Not until, I think, Partey brought a player down, and indeed, Arsenal found themselves in a position of really conceding a penalty, and it was well taken. I think was it by Conor Karamoglu, and it went into the back of the net. Now, in November 2003, Arsenal beat Inter Milan 5-1 away at San Siro, you know. So, I remember that game because on 17th September 2003, Inter Milan came at what we call by that time it was Highbury, and beat Arsenal by 3-0. It was an Obafemi Martins hat-trick. Then after that hat-trick by Obafemi Martins, you know what really happened. Obafemi went ahead to obviously go to the San Siro, and Arsenal went ahead to beat them 5-1. You understand? That was really a very big game in there for you, and they knocked them out. Now, we head into this fixture when the format has gone ahead to change. That for the 7th and 8th fixture is still the group stage in here for you. So guys, that is it, and let's head to the team news of these teams. Now, for Arsenal, Ricardo Carafiori is out. Max Dohman is out. You know, Pierre Hincapi is out. Those three are the only ones missing out onto the Arsenal traveling squad to the side of Italy. But Kai Havertz is part of the squad. Mosquera is back. I think I have to record a video of Mosquera returning. I saw him in training and he's really looking good and ready to go in there. So that means Arsenal really has the best of the squad to come in through and obviously face off Inter Milan in there for you. You go to the side of Inter Milan. They do have some absentees. Hakan Çalhanoğlu is having a calf injury. Denzel Dumfries is having an ankle injury in there. Then we also have Di Gennaro is having a hand injury. And Thomas Palacio is having a thigh injury. And they might be absent in there for you. Alessandro Bastoni and Marcus Thuram were unused subs against Udinese. And you understand well that this side will obviously come in through to face off Arsenal. And remember, Henrik Mkhitaryan, once a Gunner, whom they bought from Manchester United as an add-on onto the deal of Alexis Sanchez, is also one of those that are obviously going to be facing the club of Arsenal today in Italy. That is it. Now, let's get to the probable starting 11 for the club of Arsenal, and then we head to the probable starting of Inter Milan. Arsenal's system is always unchanged, 4-3-3, and here we come to obviously witness greatness of the system and how it takes on the Christian Chivu side. In goal, obviously, it's going to be David Raya, no doubts about it. Then, right back, I see a Julian Timber coming in through to play in there, though I don't see him playing past the hour mark. He'll obviously be taken off, and I think Ben White will come and really do the needful, as you know they're going to be playing a team known as Manchester United over the weekend. And the side of Julian Timber will be played as a left back if at all Ricardo Carafiori or Hincapié don't come in time ahead of that fixture. Left back, Lewis Kelly, I see him coming in through to really prove to the manager that he can really do the job, you know, and I've been really shocked that for the previous two games against Chelsea, that Arsenal won 3-2 in the FA Cup, and then the game against Nottingham Forest, the manager sided with Julian Timber over him, meaning that his performances are not really good, and he might knock on the exit door in the summer as a Lewis Kelly. He'll be like, please let me go. Please let me go. As he has come of age to obviously be a starter. You know, what he really put out when Arsenal is really playing in that season of 2024-2025 is really assuming that he cannot obviously play in the left back position of Arsenal when the first and second priorities for Mikel Arteta, that is Ricardo Carafiori and Pierre Hincapié respectively, are really all injured. This would have gone ahead to be his chance to prove to the manager that they can obviously do the needful. But with him not really featuring those encounters, it's really a statement sent to him that, all right, your levels are really dropping. And I know he might really put in a transfer request during the summer transfer window of this year. Right-sided centre-back, I see William Saliba coming in to do the needful, and the other one is going to be Gabriel Magalhaes, big Gabi in there. And one of these might not also start, and the manager might obviously throw in Mosquera, and we've seen him do it several times, throwing in a player after being out for an injury. And remember, for Mosquera, he's returning at a very good period of time for us not to really have a very huge backup as games are really piling up. If you are looking at the fixtures of Arsenal this January, February, March, they're really tight as Arsenal is still in every competition. And they've also gone ahead to put themselves into the finals of the Carabao Cup after they beat Chelsea by 3-2, meaning that when Chelsea comes in at the club of Arsenal's home, that is Emirates, they'll be looking out for a draw. So Arsenal's put themselves in a position that maybe many will want it to be, and player rotation is obviously going to be key. So I won't be shocked if at all Mosquera starts and maybe Big Gabi is really rested. But also the other option is play Saliba and Gabriel Magalhaes for like 60 minutes and then bring on Mosquera and maybe a Benjamin White into the system to say that you rest these ones depending on how the game situation will be at this San Siro. Midfield, obviously, Zubimendi will come in through and really play as a CDM. And I see a Declan Rice also coming in through to start, because that midfield that has a Balera, you know Balera very well. You know, Balera and Bastoni. If you really have those players in there, that midfield is really going to be very hard. So you need workaholic players to come in through and really put in a shift. But don't be surprised when the manager says, Rice, you're going to be rested, and Mikel Merino, you come and really take center stage. In there, number 10, I think Odegaard deserves a rest, and I obviously put in a player known as Ebelechi Eze. It shows you how much Arsenal has gone ahead to obviously improve on its squad. Remember, last time when they played Inter Milan, I think it was none other than Waneri who played in the number 10 position. Now, they're having a player who is that very important for the club of Arsenal, and that is Ebelechi Eze. Right forward, obviously, I see Enoni Madueke coming in through to put in a shift. Bukayo Saka having gone ahead to be rested, and he came off the bench when they're playing against Nottingham, meaning that the manager was charging him for these two important games, and it looks like he's really going to be playing almost 90 minutes, you know, for these two games, and the manager was really managing his workload. That's why he never said the game of Nottingham in there, and the game of Nottingham, right? So he rested him there. Left forward, I see this manager going in for Leandro Trossard in this particular game of football, as when you look at the fixtures of Arsenal recently, I think the manager has been trusting Gabriel Martinelli a lot. So Leandro Trossard, I think, will take center stage into this particular fixture, and he'll obviously coming in through to represent the side of Arsenal, as Martinelli started the game of Chelsea, started the game of Chelsea and the game of Nottingham, meaning that some changes will be made by the manager to see that all really goes on well as planned. Leading the line, now we have Kai Havertz, Gyökeres, and Jesus. Now, this is the most competed for position of the club of Arsenal. And the other is the left forward, because they really have three players in there: Trossard, Martinelli, Eze. And the other one, if at all their left backs are really fit, it's another one that is really highly competed for: Lewis Kelly, Ricardo Carafiori, and Hincapié. Now, with all that competitiveness in the team, I think whichever player gets a chance has to come out and really prove. Now, will Kai Havertz make his full debut? I think that will be cheating a player known as Gabriel Jesus. Ever since he came in through, he has really put out a very huge display, and I would 100% start Gabriel Jesus into this particular game of football, as his Champions League experience, and he will need a player to dismantle that back three of Inter Milan, because you know how Inter Milan really plays. They play with a back three, and they bring in their so-called and they also bring in their so-called five-man midfield in there. So that is the side of Inter Milan for you. So he will obviously be facing Augusto, Akanji, and Bisek. That is Gabriel Jesus. So that is my probable starting 11 for the club of Arsenal, as they prepare to take on a side called Inter Milan. You know, Inter Milan are also really doing well in they're also doing well in the in the Serie A, and they're trying to really take that trophy again. We head to what we call the the probable starting 11 for a side known as Inter Milan. You understand? Inter Milan do have Soma. Jan Sommer, you know him very well. Then Achabi, Akanji, Bastoni, Henrique, Balera, Mkhitaryan, Zelinski, Di Marco, Thuram, and Martinez. A very hard side to obviously face off, I tell you. And it will obviously mean a lot, you know, in everything that they'll be trying to do in there. So I want to let you know that a lot is really happening in this particular fixture, but we wait to see how things will typically pan out for that particular side. And we'll be waiting to see how things really pan out into this particular encounter in here. So from there, we obviously head to the match facts. You know, these teams have gone ahead to meet out on several occasions, 3 occasions, but there is history that we have to obviously discuss. Inter Milan and Arsenal will meet for the 4th time in the UEFA Champions League. The Italians have won 2 of the previous 3, including one win over Mikel Arteta in the last season's phase 1-0. I told you that very well. Arsenal's last victory away to an Italian side in the UEFA Champions League was in March 2008, 2-0 versus Milan. I think that was AC Milan. Since then, they've failed to win on 5 straight trips, meaning that's going to be really a hard one, while failing to score a single goal in there. International have lost 2 of their last 3 home matches against English sides versus Liverpool in 2022 and 2025, as many defeats as they suffered through their first 10 home games against English teams in European Cup, UEFA Champions League combined. 5 wins, 3 draws, and 2 losses. And then they're telling us if Arsenal win this game, they will set their longest ever winning streak in European Cup or / UEFA Champions League 7. The Gunners have won each of their last 6 by an aggregate of 17-1, keeping 5 clean sheets in there for you. That is Arsenal for you. They are really tough and they've only conceded once. Inter Milan won their first 4 games in the UEFA Champions League this term, but have since lost the last 2 versus Atletico Madrid and Liverpool. The Italian side last suffered 3 consecutive defeats in the competition between April and September 2011, while current manager Christian Chivu was an active player for Inter. The other one says Arsenal have a 16-goal difference in the UEFA Champions League this season. So they've scored 17 and they've conceded only 1. Only one English side has had at least such a differential through their first 6 matches in a single edition. Since 1992 to 1993, Jurgen Klopp's Liverpool in 2017-2018, plus 17 to 23 goals, 6 conceded. That is it. So, we are here to wait and see. Since the start of 2025, Inter's Lautaro Martinez has scored the joint most goals in the UEFA Champions League home matches, 8 level with Sohu Girassi. Indeed, he has netted as many goals in his home matches in this period as all other Inter Milan players combined. 8 goals from 7 different players. That is, Arsenal winger Gabriel Martinelli has scored in all 5 of his UEFA Champions League appearances this season. 5 goals. Should he play and find the net against Inter Milan, he would record the longest ever scoring streak by a Brazilian player in the competition, 6, surpassing 5 game streaks by Neymar on 2 occasions in 2015 and 2017 and Jardel in 1999. Now, you hear the records in there for you. So if Gabriel Martinelli comes out and obviously scores today, obviously he will be the first Brazilian to score in 6 consecutive Champions League matches, right? Since the start of last season, Arsenal's David Raya has prevented the most goals of any goalkeeper in the UEFA Champions League, plus 7-3, best on XG on shots on target, first 10 from 17 in there. Meanwhile, since the start of the 2023-2024 season, the top-ranked goalkeeper for goals prevented in this period is Inter's Jan Sommer. 7.9, 23 conceded from 30.9 goals, all shots on target. Martin Zubimendi has made more line-breaking passes, 46, and defensive line-breaking passes, 7, than any other Arsenal player in the UEFA Champions League this term, as well as leading the Gunners for possession won, 22 in the current edition. Now, you hear what you're hearing, and a lot is really going on well as planned for the side of Arsenal. Now, we head into this, and I think it's really going to be a very tight one. Arsenal's going to hate to go 2 games without winning anything, right? They've going to hate to go 2 games without winning anything as a club of Arsenal. So, according to me, I think this game will go down as a 2-1 win for the club of Arsenal. Right. I think Arsenal will obviously come out and obviously beat them bad, if at all they really pull out the best of themselves. So I think Arsenal will come out hard and they'll put in a very huge shift as a club of Arsenal. And we are waiting to see how things will pan out for the club of Arsenal in the mix. Rokani David remains my name. My prediction is 2-1 in favor of the club of Arsenal. I don't know what your prediction is, but you can as well go into the comments section and let me know about how do you think this team will obviously line up, show up into this perfect game of football. Right? I sign out for now. See you later and good morning. First video of the day. I ran back late in the night, and internet is back resumed, though other platforms are not really running on well, but we will do the needful and see to it that all really goes on well as planned. I'm out, and let's wait and see what other videos will obviously come up, because we are back.